set us all free.
World of Warcraft Shadowlands. Oh man, we got the gist of it, we got the details. We're gonna get the elephant out of the way here. There's no new class. No new class, okay? But hey man, I'm gonna say this. From the looks of it, I'm happy there's not a new class because they focused a lot, and I mean a lot, on fixing existing issues.
Yeah, it does seem like they're going way into class identity. They're trying to take away the focus from spec identity, so you're not just, like they said, discipline priest. You're gonna start to feel like a priest again, and then you can build your class however you want to. We'll see more on that, what that means, probably in terms of spells. They did say that they were gonna return old abilities. They didn't say which ones or for what classes.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's mostly tomorrow. But this is what we can expect from all the new class stuff.
Yeah, so for this video, we're basically going to go through everything they talked about within the panel, just like rush through them, and then later on we're going to have some videos going in a little bit of more detail on discussing things and maybe speculating a bit until tomorrow when they do the Q&A and the more in-depth stuff.
Yeah.
In-depth stuff?
In-depth.
In-depth stuff. All right, so for me, the biggest thing that they announced was the leveling experience.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
Backed up with the level squish. I know you're hyped up for that.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because it's almost exactly what we discussed and we said that the problem first.
You know what's fucking freaky, man? If you look at like the last 5 or 6 episodes of On Cooldown, a lot of this shit is happening in this expansion.
Yeah, this is so cool. Did we call it?
Makes me wonder.
Ian, are you looking at our videos instead of learning tactics for killing a Jara?
Watching us, you know.
But yeah, the leveling. So we're gonna start at level 50, and the max level will be 60. They did say, like Marcelian has said before, like each level you will get something that feels rewardful.
Which is good.
My favorite part of the leveling system is that you will progress your end game gameplay as you level.
You said that.
I did say that because it doesn't feel meaning. That's what I felt it was meaningful. I mean, getting something is cool, right? It's an RPG, but I always felt like if I don't rush the end game, I'm not actually progressing. It's just like I'm still getting into it.
It's so cool, man. It has a meaning towards the end game,
God, so
and this is so important for alts. Like that was the main one of the main complaints, because when you're gonna level alts, you're basically adding stuff for your end game as well, which is super good, man. Oh, but the level squish is one thing, but what about the covenants, man? They talked about these 4 covenants.
Okay, so basically we're gonna have 5 new zones, at least at the start, and we're gonna start in the Maw, which is like a zone that's not the covenant. That's where we start and we get out, and then we start leveling in the other zones. There are 4 zones. We're gonna have to take them in order. We won't be able to choose anymore.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because that gives them the power to basically tell a bit better story, since it's going to be all tied up, which is fine. I mean, instead of 4 separate stories, we're gonna have one cohesive one, which is cool. And the thing with the covenants is each zone has a specific covenant, which is, you can think of it as a faction, but if you remember in TBC, you had Aldors and Scryers. Do you remember those?
Yes.
It's almost exactly like that. You'll have specific access to the covenant. As you level through the zone, you get to access the ability and the specifics of that covenant. There's a class specific ability that you get and a covenant specific. I'm not sure if you get both, but you at least get the covenant one that Ian said to play and test with it before choosing your covenant. And this is as you level, and once you get to max level, that's when you choose your covenant, and each one has a different feel and spec. I mean, they did talk about that. I don't know if you caught some of that, because Marcelian was super hard on editing. You guys will see.
But as much as I could.
There's one covenant like the Bastion one, which they talked, which is available for a lot of people that are at Blizzcon right now, where it's kind of like the Paladini priesty theme.
It looks like it, I had that vibe.
They said that souls that go into the Bastion zone are souls that have had the calling in life, a calling of virtue,
and Uther is there, right?
And Uther is one of the souls that's going to be there. We're going to meet a lot of heroes that died and ended up there.
I cannot wait.
Another covenant, another zone was the Necros. I don't know, Mexa. It was the undeady zone with like ghouls and abominations and death, where the scourge power comes from. It's not an evil zone. It can be evil, but the soul that's there are souls that basically were persistent, were stoic, were determined to fight and, you know, uphold whatever values they had. And one of the characters there is Draka.
Draka, Thrall's mom. Yeah, yes. Yeah. That's cool. Why is she there?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Why is she in that zone? Huh.
Well, she was the kind that would never bow to someone. She was very, you know,
you know,
basically warriors.
Orcs. Yeah.
Basically, warriors are there. And then there's the druidy one. Which is kind of like fairy tale. It reminded me of Ori and the Blind Forest, or kind of like
what a beautiful game,
like a JRPG fantasy with fairies and stuff. That's kind of like druidy, but basically there you will find scenarios. Like that's the reincarnation zone where souls can get there, but they can go out and reincarnate into life. That's how scenarios came back.
Such a cool concept.
Yeah,
Jesus,
and the arts.
Who gets these ideas? Oh boy,
the art style, the trees and everything, that was so beautiful.
You're probably gonna see it on the screen anyways.
That zone ties to Drustvar, and it also
my favorite leveling zone on the line side.
It's definitely the prettiest, and that's the zone that holds Cenarius' soul and helps Cenarius come back into WoW in Cataclysm when we had problems with Firelands.
Right.
So that's kind of the feeling. The last zone. It's Castlevania time, baby!
It just, man,
did you see that art?
The bloody thing, and you know, all the sucking the blood out and stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
That is the evil zone.
That's where Keltas is, right?
Yeah, that's where the prideful, sinful, basically, the 7 deadly sins type of feel. The souls go there, like Keltas, Sunshine. I thought we would find Arthas there, but I don't think Arthas is there.
Well, I think we're gonna have a surprise with Arthas. We're gonna do a video speculating out the lore and shit, because we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Right. And those are kind of like the major gist of the covenants. And the thing with alts is that they did say that affects covenants as well, is that once you get to max level with your main and you unlock your covenant and you start to do the covenant campaign, which is kind of like the class campaign, plus you'll have a hub like the class halls.
Similar to that.
Yeah. Then if you go with an alt, as soon as you get into Shadowlands, you can choose a covenant right away. You don't have to do the exact same story. You can join any zone you want.
Because that sucked in BFA, remember that?
Yeah, exactly. And then it was kind of weird in Legion as well, because you had to do the class campaign.
Yeah, I know.
So that's good. So good. They've heard about our complaints about alts, man.
They listen a lot. And one other major thing that they did, I don't know if we're going to have time to cover them all, but dude, you know the main problem with legendaries in Legion? You know that RNG bullshit? Dude, they finally introducing legendaries which you could craft and get for.
Now, you can aim for legendaries.
I hope it's not an easy system. I hope it's gonna be hard.
I hope it's worth it. Yeah,
and worth it at the end. Exactly. That's been the main complaint, and he recognized it. I mean,
he knows.
Yeah, he definitely knows. If you saw the crowd reactions to everything that I said, including the legendaries, Jesus Christ, man. And one more thing. This ties up with the legendary thing, man. The weekly chest.
Oh my god.
Did you see the crowd reaction, man? Did you see the crowd reaction?
That's how much RNG sucks. And you know, you talked about our latest on cooldown episodes. I don't know if it was in the last one, but we did talk about the loot system and the fact that it would be so much better for the weekly chest, or we might have mentioned this on stream, if they can make the weekly mythic chest be something like the arena cap, where you get to choose between items, and that's what we'll have.
That's what they're doing, exactly. So they heard the RNG complaints. They didn't say anything about Titan forging or war forging. It's peculiar, but we'll have to see.
Well, they did kind of hint that we won't have it anymore, starting with 8.3. Maybe we'll have a different system then, but I suppose it's gonna be explained tomorrow in the deep dive bit.
But man, okay, so there's a lot of good news. Now, we have to take all of this with a grain of salt, because we had huge announcement for Warlords of Draenor. We had huge announcements for BFA, and a lot of shit didn't pan out, you know, in the future. So I'm hoping that all of these systems that they're trying to introduce right now are going to become a reality. And I know you got hyped super hard with the professions.
Oh, they did. They didn't say everything that the professions will have new, because they do want to update. And it felt like for the first time in a very long time, it felt like Ian was talking from a gamer's perspective. I guess he
that's
played.
weird, huh?
I guess he played in BFA and looted some mythic chests and got pants like 4 times in a row, 4 weeks in a row. So he said, "Okay, no, this is definitely a problem."
Welcome to the club, Nalu.
So one thing that they said the professions will have crafting professions for armor pieces at most, because they do want crafted armor to be relevant again, is that if you want, let's say, specific stats for your item, you can use gems of the stats that you want to influence the stats that you will get on your final piece. So if you want like a mastery versatility pants, you can use a mastery versatility gem as mats for the recipe, and then you can get those stats on your piece, which is so much better, man.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Like
makes jewel crafters good again.
Well, you know, I used to be a jewel crafter. The thing is, this also makes a good ecosystem between professions, because the jewel crafter now can help a blacksmith.
Oh my god, yes.
To make, you know, to work out his stats on the armor, and if that armor is viable and it's relevant within the end game or whatever, that's super cool. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with the other stuff as well. There's a whole lot to get into, man. Let's see what other thing now. We know Bolvar isn't dead. We all saw the cinematic, which by the way was a freaking amazing,
a beast.
Oh Jesus,
Bolvar
team.
Those, like the fight scene when Bolvar conjured the storm, the snowstorm, and he was sitting from the storm with like that big ass mace, man. Jesus.
Badass. Well, Bolvar is probably not probably, we're sure now he's a good guy. We need to help him. And what do you think he's gonna do?
Well, he's gonna help us by reinforcing our armies.
So everybody's gonna be a Death Knight.
Yeah.
So all races are going to be able to be Death Knights, because the whole plot of the story on his arc is basically, hey, I'm going to raise the biggest army I can get, so all races are able to become Death Knights, which, what can I say? Some people will be happy about it, some people not.
I was strongly on the camp of please don't do this, unless they made it make sense, and it does make sense. I have to admit, they could have spun this a lot of ways, but I think the way they spin it is that Sylvanas has been amassing a huge ass army of souls that shouldn't have gone where she is, but they do get there. And now to counteract that, Bolvar's helping us by simply raising everybody that died in the last, well, I don't know if everybody, but like a lot of people that died in the last years of expansions.
Okay, sorry. How the fuck is a mecha gnome gonna be at Death Knight?
I don't know, but it does make sense because Bolvar said, okay, everybody get in here, right?
Everybody get into Death Knight Club, come on, man. This huge party at the Death Knight scene, come on.
So, okay, that makes sense. Oh, that's fine. Plus, Kulturan Death Knights look badass as fuck, man.
Oh yeah, they portrayed the Kulturan gear set and all of that.
So beefy, and I thought only orcs could pull that off.
Nah, man. Well, we have those Kulturan. Might roll some alliance set in the future. That
looks pretty good.
Well, so one other thing, it's about time for WoW to get in line. And we talked, I don't know, did we talk about this? No, we talked in WoW Talks about this, character customization.
exactly
we did it in the WoW Talks, last episode on WoW Talks. They finally bring in more options to the customization. And I don't know if you guys saw, you're going to see it on the screen, but the options that are available so far look outstanding, man. Starting from dwarfs.
Oh my god, the dwarfs are the ones that
looking like Falstad and shit.
Dwarfs and trolls have the coolest things, and I think the first time that I thought, wow, our character customization is actually pretty shit is when they introduced Magar orcs and Dark Iron dwarfs.
Yeah, then you saw. Yeah.
And it was like, oh my god, why aren't they doing this with everybody? Yeah. Like tattoos and different war paints and stuff.
Fucking Ian said, man, and because it's 2020 and the technology allows it and it's all of that. So that's always good. I mean, fuck it. The thing is, man, there's a lot of stuff for us to go even deeper on within the video. So this is like the first glimpse at all of the features they announced. There's massive features. I'm not gonna lie. They did say that the expansion is gonna kick off with 8 dungeons for the level, 4 for max level with Mythic Plus and all that, or 10 boss raid. Within
the first one's 10 bosses.
Yeah, man, it's in the Vampire Zone, right?
Castlevania. Castle something.
Yeah, Castle something. But it's probably gonna be really good. I'm really curious to see how it's all going to tie within the story, because all raids are part of the bigger plan and bigger picture and all of that. So that's also good. There, once again, they didn't announce any new class, and again, from the looks of everything we covered so far, I'm okay with this. I'm actually okay with this, because if they have the time to have this released next year, probably at the end of the
fully
summer.
Functional, yeah.
Yeah, with all of this that implemented, I'm okay with no new class. I mean, honest to God, it's really cool. Did we cover everything?
Oh, one thing that we have to cover before we end this video is the Tower of the Damned, the Torghast.
Right. Man, I thought that was a mage tower, but no.
Okay, and this actually, I think, kind of ties a little bit into class changes, but they didn't say how much yet, because this is more, I think this was all made to build up hype for tomorrow. So your asses better be ready, because tomorrow we're going to explain a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
But basically, the Tower of the Damned is a rogue-like encounter where you start at the base of the tower, and you go up in levels. The levels are always different as you go in, so they are basically like an endless replayability type system.
I love roguelike shit.
And you can go solo. You can go for up to a full party of 5 members. So you don't have to go solo or 5. You can go solo, 2 people, 3 people. Doesn't really matter.
Beautiful.
It changes. You get bonuses there to your class, to your spells, like upgrades. And from what they showed in the panel, the upgrades are like uncommon level, rare, epic version. So for instance, they showed
your abilities.
Yes, for elemental shamans, they did as an example. So for instance, one of the, I think it was the rare upgrade to flame shock. Flame shock lasts indefinitely. The epic upgrade was called the Soul of the Living Flame. Your fire elemental lasts indefinitely, but you cannot cast any frost spells. No frost shock, no elemental blast, no ice
Sounds
fury,
like a
water
curse over there like that.
I suppose, but it's really cool,
It's
right?
cool, man.
I don't know
It's
if that
cool.
carries outside of the tower. They didn't
No, it's
actually say
OP,
that.
it's OP,
I think it's
yeah.
only in the tower,
It's only
but
for the
again,
tower.
tower is a replayable content,
yeah.
so that's...
Talk about replayability. That's a major thing that will, like, think about it like this. You have times when you play WoW when you're like tired of doing mythic pluses, you're tired of doing arenas or leveling alts, and you just don't find the motivation to go into the game. And
this
when
is
you
like
do,
a whole new system, whole different.
This will fill a gap because it has this replayability. It's similar to Diablo. If you remember the original Diablo,
I think it's kind of like Greater Rift, like the original Diablo one, where you keep going.
Yeah,
down
that's
the
what I'm saying. Like roguelike is based the foundation of Diablo games. So if they introduce this in a proper manner within World of Warcraft,
yeah, execution is very
be,
important.
Yeah, exquisite, man, exquisite. But so far so good, guys. We're looking at I don't know, a feeling that I think we both have is that they have listened, and this is basically a response to all the outcry, all the outrage that they received, starting from Legion a bit, but heavily in BFA, and it does feel like this is the expansion where they listened.
Oh my god, I didn't know I could be as excited for WoW as I was for Diablo 4 after I saw the Diablo 4 panel, but right now I am more excited for WoW. I cannot believe if everything goes smoothly, this is probably the best expansion that they ever made.
Oh yeah. Well,
calling it.
Yeah. Let's take our time here to thank once again all of our Patreons. Thank you so much for the support, guys. If you want to be a Patreon, check the links in the description. All is good. Now don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to the channel because we're gonna have even more videos on World of Warcraft and probably Diablo 4. That being said,
have a good day, ladies and gentlemen, and see you in the next one.
Yes.
You